Gentlemen, Ilia is free. Ilia is going to hit Justin Gaethje with a right hook that may shatter him, or maybe not. But Ilia is free. His divorce has been what they've compromised.
Penalized.
Yeah, they've kind of finalized it. They're cool with it. What y'all think? Y'all think Ilia is probably big mad? He's about to come back. You think he's going to fight Gaethje, or you think he's going to pass on the Gaethje fight and maybe go up and try to fight Islam at welterweight?
It depends on how much longer he wants to fight, in my opinion. If he actually wants to submit more of a like challenging legacy, I think he moves up and he doesn't give a fuck about the title that Gaethje's holding the IC title right now. I mean, to me, that would be cool. But also, I mean, honestly, that for the sport, that is the move that's more exciting because I mean, Gaethje's got maybe 4 fights left in him, 3 to 4 fights left in him, and Ilia is not incredibly young, but he's on his run right now. So it really just depends on how he wants to shape that out. I like him moving up and fighting Islam at the White House for some reason. It just makes sense. Um, that would be dope. But other than that, nah. I think if the first fight that he needs to do is that one, and then let Gaethje hold it, and then he could just challenge Gaethje, just vacate it, let Gaethje hold it till about the fall, and then he fights to get that title back, depending on if he wins or loses against Islam.
Dog, you have way more trust in Gaethje than me. You said 4 or 5, 3 or 4 or 5 fights left.
I
Dog, he
said
got
three, four,
one.
about
He
three.
got
I said about three,
one.
four.
He got one. And it's pretty obvious. He said that if he's not fighting for a title, he was going to retire. Same kind of deal as Deep Dustin Poirier. I almost said DP. Woof. But he's going to do that same thing. There's nobody else for him to fight if he loses, right? Like who else? You lost to Oliveira, you lost to Max, you lost to Ilia. I mean, you could fight Armin, but you could have fought Armin before, and you wanted to fight Petty. So I truly don't know what Gaethje's going to do after this fight. If he wins, I think he will fight Max. But if he loses, I think that's a wrap for him. Ilia, because of the rust. Not and he hasn't been out. He hasn't
Hmm.
not done it for a while, but he had been fighting every 4 to 6 months, really 3 to 6 months. Taking off that additional 6 to 8 months, that may give him a little bit of rust that Gaethje may be able to capitalize on. And if there is anybody who could, I think Gaethje could because of his power. Gaethje is one of those guys that if he comes out and fights like he fought against Patty, I think Ilia mops him up because you're not going to sit here and have a bar fight with Ilia. Like that's not going to happen. But I do think that Justin can provide some kind of challenges afterwards. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Ilia and Islam makes sense anymore, just because there's so many other fights that I want to see Ilia do at lightweight. I know he wants to fight Islam, but dog, I don't just fight. You know what I'm saying? But if he knocks Gaethje's head into the moon, maybe I change my mind. But as of right now, bro, just fight at lightweight. Clear out the lightweight division like you did the featherweight division.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Rust, because of Rust, I don't think he needs to go anywhere around Islam. I think he needs to come back and get a fight. Um, I think the belt needs to be unified. If he wins, move up, then fight Islam. But unify the belt, man. Do Justin Gaethje, do some justice for him. Either fight him and let him be the champ for real, or take the belt from him and 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 put him down, put him away. And then I think he goes and fights Islam. That's my opinion. Come reestablish yourself in your division and then go fight Islam. Um, if he wins, he obviously stays up in that division. But if he loses and he comes back, man, I know y'all don't want this, but I want to see him fight Max at this weight because Max hits harder. That's They fought at a lesser weight last time. I want to see him fight Max at this weight. I bet Max can hit harder because I always felt like Max was a volume guy, a points puncher at the class below. But at this class, at this weight, I think he hits harder. He's got knockout power. That's my opinion.
Dog touched Poirier's chin, and Dustin said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like, I don't
I
think anybody realized how much power he would gain coming up.
I agree. Me personally, watching every single Ilia fight, I truly think Max fought Ilia the best.
Yeah,
What caught
he
Max
just got
was
caught.
is well, Max had, and it's the same thing that Volk did to him. He takes leg kicks, and then his leg is screwed. He has
Yeah,
to continue to switch stances, which opens him up to Ilya's power shot. And he did nothing to stop the leg kicks or check or anything like that. So he's very much Nick Diaz, where if you just leg kick him, he's stationary, and then he got caught. Maybe some of those shots that Max hit him with at 45, if they fight at 55, maybe some of those stun Ilya a little bit more. Because I agree, but I want to see how Max does against Oliveira first. If
yeah,
like as I said a couple weeks ago, if he mops up Oliveira, Ilia Max too. That's
yeah,
the only fight that makes sense to me. But I mean, we may get that in like the fall. I'm cool with it.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
I
Which
really don't. I don't mind any of those top fights for Ilya Arman. Um, if Charles beats Max, if Max beats Charles, which I know we already saw Charles, but maybe Charles, maybe Charles comes
Don't
in with
stand in the
a game plan.
pocket.
Yeah, like
mm,
get his ass on the ground, bro.
Yeah, he tried. He tried. Ilya stood up, and then I think
But
once
see,
he
I see
stood back
the.
up, he was like,
I always saw the same thing when O'Malley knocked out Aljo. Like, I feel like if that's why O'Malley wouldn't fight Aljo again. So O'Malley knows he caught him.
"Oh yeah, dog." Aljo
But
was gonna
if
grab that
Aljo
leg,
got
and
another chance,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
If
he
Aljo
put
gets another chance, it's a different game.
people. It's crazy to me too because like Marab gets his flowers. People forget how good Aljo was.
Yeah,
Aljo just got caught. He got caught and he came out and said that his shoulder was hurt after. The way that people have been looking after injuries and losing a fight as of recent,
yeah,
I want it.
yeah,
Purion, uh, Poetan, oh, I'm hurt. And usually I would be like, man, you excuses. And they came out and washed. Aljo was begging for it. And Dana was like, no, thank you. And then Marab was like, okay, I come and I'm just gonna ragdoll him. I'm gonna take him down. And that's what he did. That's what he did. Yeah. Anything else UFC wise? Y'all want to touch? I mean, it's quiet. I know there was a fight night last night. I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't even turn it
I
on.
feel
I
like
mean,
I'm excited that Ilya's back just because like I feel like the UFC is different with its dominant people. Like when you have a dominant team in the NFL or a dominant player in the league in the NBA, a lot of times like it gets kind of stale. Like people don't care about LeBron even though he's still killing at his age. I don't really like his play, but people felt that way with Kobe. I'm sure people are going to feel that way with SGA and Jokic. Like at some point, the shit gets old. I don't feel like that happens in the UFC. Like every time somebody that's been dominant for years, like every time Izzy came up on a card, people were like, "Oh shit, Izzy's fighting." That's why I'm excited that Ilya's back because he adds another relevant like superstar fighter to the mix.
by the time he fights, it'll be exactly, I think, a calendar year or very close to it, because he's got it settled. But now he's got to go into camp and they got to book a fight. So his last fight was June of last year. So I mean, the rust aspect that you were saying, I think that's very possible. However, this man was fucking a lot of people up. So I mean, it UFC wise, I don't think there's anything else that we really need to talk about other than, hey man, it's back. There's the parody that is the UFC when, like you were saying, Cameron, if there's somebody that's like dominant, you tune in. You tune
Yeah.
in because you want to see why they are who they are, so to speak. Like somebody coming in that's never, at the time in his prime cocaine, John Jones. If you didn't know who John Jones was, and somebody was like, "Bro, you got to watch this guy fight." Ilya is kind of, he's not on the level of John Jones, but he has that type of like hype around him to
Yeah.
where it could really sell. But nah, I don't
Well, it's,
see anything else that's
well,
really
it's
catching
like
my eye.
I feel like people tune in not to see these dominant like fighters lose. They tune in to see somebody put them away. Like
or just
like
something like people
when I
just want to
watch
watch
Islam, I'm
exciting
like, who's
fights.
gonna
Yeah,
fucking do it?
Yeah,
people
Who is
just
going
want
to kill this
exciting
guy?
fights. Like people just want somebody to get choked out, knocked out,
you want to
or
see
Yeah.
something.
greatness.
Yeah, or just a banger. just a back and forth, just slugfest, or
Yeah.
it's just the Hamzat fight, his last fight. Those are the fights that people don't want to watch. And I think Hamzat is a real good champ, but he didn't do anything. He just took DDP down and laid on him. So I'm like,
Mhm.
he is a dominant champion and he's one of the best fighters in the UFC currently. But after that performance, I'm like, bro, I don't have any. I'm not sitting here like, man, I wonder who Hamzat's going to fight next. I'm just like, I'll probably tune in, but I'm not hyped. The
Yeah.
Ilias, the fuck, who else? I mean, Volk. Even though I didn't watch his last fight, but Ilia is doing it. Obviously, when oh my god, now I feel like Cameron because I forgot
Ah, there
the
we
old
go.
the old
Max
heavyweight champs.
Charles,
Nah, I'm talking about the old heavyweight
uh,
champ.
Lesnar, fucking
No, I'm talking
Frank
about
Mir,
before
Cain
like
Velasquez.
Couture,
so
Kane Jr., Dos
Francis
Santos.
Ngannou's won.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to watch Francis fight. Obviously Stipe.
Hmm. Yeah.
Tom Aspinall. That's who I'm thinking
Yeah,
of. Tom
Tom.
Aspinall.
Oh, okay.
People are when he fought, everyone tuned in because you know he's gonna start somebody. Poatan. Motherfuckers is turning in to watch Poatan start somebody.
Hmm.
Welterweight Islam, we're watching it. Marab, we're watching it. Piotr Jan, we're watching it. Sean O'Malley, we're watching it. But it's because their fights are exciting. Hamzat
Yeah.
shit was just, come here, brother. I take you down, and I'm just gonna lay on you. I'm gonna get
I'm
you
going
in a
to
crucifix.
dominate you.
I'm gonna get you in a
Yes.
crucifix, and just kind of lay here,
And
and just barely just
and just
yeah.
that's all he was doing, bro.
I
He
could
was like,
elbow you into oblivion because 12 to 6 elbows are legal now. But I'm not going to. Could you
I'm not
imagine
gonna do
telling a 25-year-old John Jones, "Hey, you remember
Hey,
those elbows that you hit Matt Hamill with? Those are legal now."
by the way.
Over with.
Oh man. That's the most criminal loss in UFC history.
that. Yeah.
Cause
It should.
because he was killing this dude before he even dropped to 12-6,
Yeah.
destroying Matt Hamill. I don't know what's more criminal, that loss on John Jones's record or Taylor's loss in fantasy championship a few years back.
That one,
Uh
Taylor's.
Thanks to
oh,
Mark Hamlin.
I will say that Diego Lopez broke both of his, like, he fractured both of his feet in that Volk fight.
Imagine getting beat
Motherfucker
up so
could.
bad you broke your feet. No disrespect to Diego Lopez because
I
he
mean,
probably
you
beat
could.
me up, but it's
You said he could
how do you.
probably beat you up.
Yeah, but like, hey, bro, I got you by like 60, 70, 80 pounds. Give me 3 months, dog,
Yeah,
and let's
yeah.
bang. Come
God
on.
damn it.
But
Oh shit.
Let
I'm
me
curious.
bang, bro.
How are we supposed to look at like? And it's no disrespect, but like for Diego Lopez, I think he's a fantastic fighter, and I know what guys
Mhm.
Joe Rogan do when they just hype him up. He's a world class champion, but I still hold him in regards below the guys that I think are truly world class. Like the guys that
Mhm.
show that they are world class, I talk about them differently. The Ilias of the world, I don't talk the same way about Diego Lopez. I think Diego Lopez is a great gatekeeper, but I don't think that he's truly at this point a championship level fighter.
No.
Isn't
I
it
mean, he
crazy?
had some wars,
Like,
but I don't think that there. Sometimes when you fight a guy that's older, a little more experienced, and he kind of like is getting sunned by Volk whenever he
Yes.
fights him. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Because Diego Lopez is spry. He's got you know that behind him. He's got the youthfulness behind him, and there's just something about old dog doesn't want to lay down yet, and that's kind of what Volk is going through right now. Because I, I mean, the
to me,
only one
it's
that put the fear in him was two people, and they're both dominant. So they're all three champions. You
it's
can't
cr
deny that.
it's crazy to me. Like, what does that say about Ilya? That it seemed like nobody in that division could topple Volk, and then Ilya comes through and mops him up in what, the second round?
First. Honestly,
Everybody else, everybody else couldn't win, so they left the division and moved up. Volk comes through and mops his ass up and takes the belt with him to a new division, and then Volk gets right back on top, and nobody can beat him again. Like that's insane to me. What that says about Ilya,
yeah.
more than it says about Volk.
Yeah. And Volk is all time great. It's just crazy
Yeah,
that Ilya mopped him up. In Ilya's game plan, he said what he was going to do. He said whenever like when he circles out, he leaves his chin up. And he was like, I'll catch him. Uh! But Gentlemen, let's go ahead and start with our topics. Topic one, I'll start age first. Fuck what y'all talking about. But the NBA trade deadline, give me a second so I can make sure I don't go too long. There we go. NBA trade deadline. There were a few NBA trades that I liked for first off my Lakers. We finally got rid of Gabe Vincent. We were able to get a shooter, which is something that we needed with Luke Kennard. I think Luke Kennard is very needed for the Lakers. He helps space the floor for guys like LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves. So I think he's needed as well as Gabe Vincent, just not Lakers Nation hated him. Uh, Other trade, the Anthony Davis going to Washington. I like that for Washington because now you have Anthony Davis and Trey Young, but I seen that Anthony Davis don't even want to play there. So I'm like, bro, what are you even going to do in the future because you're injured? Like nobody cares. Porzingis to Porzingis to Golden State. I think that in theory works, but I don't think it's gonna work. My dog Zubac to the Pacers. I think that's cool for the Pacers. Obviously, I think they can stack up and try to wait until the Halliburton comes back next year and see if they can make a run in the Eastern Conference. And then obviously you had a couple more. No, nothing crazy. This is probably one of the lowest trade deadlines that I've seen in a while, as far as like no huge moves. Everybody expected Ja to be moved. Everybody expected Giannis to be moved. Neither one of them were moved. And hold on, shit. There's a couple more. Obviously, the Thunder get
Yeah.
Jared McCain. I think that's a big time move for them. It helps. The one thing that I am worried about with the Thunder is bodies. I thought once they got Jared McCain that somebody was going to get traded out because of like playtime. I think everyone's kind of built similar. How are you going to get everybody on the court? How are you going to get everybody the same minutes? How is that going to work? Are you going to be able to do that before the playoffs start? But I don't think they give a damn because they're dealing with injuries right now. And then other than that, dog, trade deadline, I don't think anyone just separated themselves from the rest of the pack. I think there were a lot of moves that make teams better in the future. I just don't know if anything right now kind of Pau Gasol to the Lakers where it just shot the Lakers to the championship. I don't know if any of the trades did that, and that's where I'll end. But go ahead, Cam.
Um, I just don't understand what some of these teams are doing, I guess. Like why I don't feel like either one, the Clippers or the Cavs got better in their trade. Like I well, I feel like Darius Garland and James Harden are the same guys. They neither one of them play defense, they both shoot. The Clippers got a pick. So that's to me that's a wash. I don't feel like and they're both hurt all the fucking time. Um I don't I do like Nikola Vucevic going to Boston. I like what that can do for Boston. Um And I like Zubac going to the Pacers because they're already in line for a pretty high lottery pick. And so if they bring Zubac back, get the lottery pick, and then on top of that, get Halliburton back, I like what that can do for their team next season, especially if they can keep God, I hate this game. Help me out, Isaiah. 43. Was in Toronto. What's his name? God dang it.
Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, Siakam. Thank you. Especially when if they can
Fucking
retain
figure it
Siakam,
out. This
bro.
is an
I'm
all-star,
terrible.
two-time
I'm
NBA
terrible.
champion.
I am terrible with names, man. Leave me alone. At least I knew who he was. At least I knew who I was trying to talk about. I wasn't completely out of it.
43.
I tell you, like, also, what is what is Memphis doing? Ja doesn't want to be there. They don't want him there, and instead they trade Triple J to the fucking Jazz. What are the Jazz doing?
Well, I think the Jazz have a real opportunity to build some more veteran pieces around them, and I think that was the mindset behind that trade. You know, you got marketing, but you also have a shitload of lottery picks and young guys that are kind of getting their footing. So I think adding Jaron Jackson like that will help them, especially just having a paint presence. Because Walker Kessler and Laurie Markkinen, they're tall, but they don't really like Walker Kessler doesn't play a lot of minutes, and Laurie Markkinen is going to get brought out. They're going to drive on him. There's not a true post guy that he can defend that well because he's not that great of a defender. So I think that's the only thing that would kind of make sense. And right now, Memphis is just trying to figure their shit out. You already lost Desmond Bain. Now you lose Jaron Jackson. So now it's just Ja all by himself. So let him cook.
And
He's
so
by himself again. So see
and
what he
so,
does.
but you kept a guy that has come out and publicly stated he does not like where the organization is at. He does not like the coach and the playing style. Like you kept the only guy that's publicly come out and said he doesn't want to be there. Why? Like what the? And I know why. It's because the ROI wasn't there. It wasn't high, which is the same reason
Yeah.
why Milwaukee didn't trade
Giannis. Yeah.
Giannis because they can get more in the offseason.
Hmm.
But I would like I want to know why you wouldn't keep Triple J. Like I keep him, offload Ja in the offseason and try and build around Triple J.
I think
Now they got to
He's
start
are
from the
too
we
ground up.
old to build
before
around.
I
Not
jump
in a
in,
bad way.
are we opening the floor right now? That's my question.
Well,
Is the floor
Isaiah
open?
hasn't had a chance to.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I just
sorry.
went through some trades and basically talked about how I don't understand with all these trades. I don't know what the hell everybody's trying, like what all these organizations are fucking doing because none of them make sense to me.
No, I got that. Isaiah, have you go ahead, bro.
Okay. So I'm just gonna speed round it real fast. So the the one that seems the most peculiar to me, but I think you had to add it in, was the Washington and Dallas trade. A lot of pieces got moved. Not a lot of youth. I mean, these are all journeymen at this point. I don't know. Jaden Hardy was the only one that had upside, but you get a 34-year-old Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, who is at best, Marvin Bagley, who is by definition a bust. But really, the biggest thing that they received in that trade is this upcoming year, you get a first rounder, and then 4 years down the road, you get another first rounder, and three future second round picks. So I think that was the mindset behind that trade. You know that Chris Middleton's on borrowed time. Bagley's kind of like a bridge guy that's going to be there, get some minutes, and then he's probably going to go somewhere else. He's a rental. Jones, I like that, but I mean, he's backup point guard at best. I mean, Porzingis going to Golden State, okay. I mean, that's all right. Kaminga and Buddy Hield going to Atlanta, okay. Atlanta doesn't have a whole lot left, so a lot of these organizations, I think they're trying to move now to see where they end up in the off season. I think the most I think the most impressive one to me, at least, was the Lakers getting Luke Kennard. I will say that, and Oklahoma City getting Jared McCain. And the only reason why I say that is because you need a guy like Kennard who doesn't want to have the ball as much for that spacing reason. But he on any given night with his efficiency, he could give you 10 to 12, and he doesn't have to shoot you out of a fucking game to get it. He's just going to make the right basketball play. The biggest thing that I want to mention is, can we talk about the Caucasian invasion that's happening with the Lakers right now? I mean, Marlon, you got about five of them now, 5 to 6. It's looking great. With Luca's healthy, we might have an all white five on the court for the Lakers at one point. I mean, let's dive deep
Mm,
let's dive deep into that.
all right,
And I and
go ahead and finish. Yeah, go ahead and finish.
the last thing that I'll say is the Thunder getting the zest god that is Jared McCain. That's adding more youth, which is the direction that they seem to be going in. He's a good spacer. He can handle the rock and get points in the paint. Not obviously not on the clip of a Jalen Williams or a SGA, but when you look at the Thunder as a team, you can see them and go, okay, who's another guy that can drive into the lane and get buckets at a decent clip? That is a guard. That's not really lose game. A Wiggs can kind of do it. Isaiah Joe is pretty much perimeter. So I think adding that extra piece to come off the bench would be nice.
Bro, Isaiah Joe's been dunking on motherfuckers here lately. Have you not been watching them?
I don't want to worried about Isaiah Joe. Uh, Isaiah, I appreciate the Luke Kennard shout out. I think the Lakers are actually building something, like I said, for the future. With LeBron gone, if you get some of that salary cap back or space back, I think they could add a couple of wing guys. I've said this for a while though. They're just they post Braun, they'll be fine. Jared McCain, like I said, bro, it's a youth movement. Cameron mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I honestly thought once they got him that Dort was gone. I was like, oh God. Or I was like, Case and Wallace will end up in LA because that's what I've been wanting. It didn't happen. Instead, y'all bring in Jared McCain who throws ass. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool.
Nah, I knew Dort wasn't Dort's not going anywhere until the offseason. They're not gonna. I knew they wouldn't trade anybody that's a core member of like the a minutes person.
Yeah.
Like Dort is one of the core of what we have going on, and they're not going to disrupt all of that midseason. But
Who's
he's gone. Huh?
whose minutes are gonna get cut, do you think?
Well,
I
they
think
traded
Isaiah
they
Joe.
traded Jane.
Okay.
Um, I think it'll either be Eyes. Well, God dang, that's tough
That's
because
what I'm saying. Because now you like
definitely be it.
it'll be
But I
Isaiah
mean,
Joe.
you
It'll
think
be Isaiah Joe.
we've been thinking this for the last probably 3 or 4 years with all of the talent that the Thunder have. He just he just plugs and plays and kind of it seems like everybody kind of gets minutes, but when it comes down to the playoffs, I don't think Jared McCain will be out there. I think he'll take on like the AJ Mitchell role because
Got you.
right now he's taking up AJ Mitchell's minutes.
Yeah. See, that's
That's what I
that's
think is
more
happening.
that's more or less what I was thinking because I was like, that's a lot of like you have SGA, which him and
Yeah,
Dub, they are getting the minutes, and everybody else is eating off of those minutes.
Mhm.
And then you have Caruso, Isaiah Joe,
yeah.
Kaysen, Jared McCain, AJ Mitchell. Like you, there's a lot of
Even
guard minutes, which is fine because of where the league is now. But it's
the crazy thing is like they already got Joe. They got Joe. They got Wiggins. They got Caruso already on like super team friendly contracts for like the next 3 years. So that like be other than Dort, who's up for extension, there's really not a lot of people that you, based on the contract value, that you want to offload. You know, like why would you wouldn't want to offload Aaron Wiggins for the with the contract he has, like
I agree, but
for
you're
what he
gonna
brings.
I agree, but you're gonna have to eventually. This is the problem that
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
everybody knew that the Thunder would run into, and it's a
Yeah,
good
you
problem to
have
have.
an
Yeah.
yeah. The embarrassment of
You,
riches is only the only thing that I'll say is the style of play for East basketball in the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference is going to be a little different for Jared McCain. So it really just depends on how he adjusts to it. I mean, you don't play the Spurs that many times a year if you're on the Eastern Conference. You play them twice. What does that look
yeah.
like after the All Star break? Whenever the Thunder really get into the bulk of their schedule, because you play each team twice, which he's still kind of finding his groove after coming back from that injury, where he was playing really good up until that.
Hmm.
So I definitely think AJ Mitchell's his minutes shouldn't suffer, but when you look at the Thunder as a team, a lot of the times they run into this issue where the guys that come off the bench, that bench scoring, it's streaky at times. And I think
Yeah.
adding him will hopefully help that. And that was their thought process behind it.
See, I
I
agree
think,
with it. I just didn't when the trade happened. Obviously, I gauge everything based on like office conversations. But I was hearing conversations about, oh, that secures the next three for us, and I was like, for him, y'all tripping? Like that's a good move, but like let's not act like this just makes it to where nobody can touch you because you got
yeah.
him. Like that's not a it's a good piece, but it's not. It would be if I seen them get a old boy from the Pelicans, the shooter Herb Jones or something like. Then I would be like,
Yeah.
hey, like I did when they got Caruso. But I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, that it's a
Yeah.
cool move. It just didn't.
When they were
It kind of
dangling Trey Murphy out there, the
yeah, bro.
Pelicans, and they were talking about the possibly pairing with the Thunder, I was like, ooh,
That's who I meant
because Trey
actually. Is
Murphy
Trey
is
Murphy?
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
that's who.
Yeah.
Because
That dude is
brother,
nice.
he's half court. He's shooting, and he's good with the Thunder. He would get so many shots. And when they linked him to the
Yeah.
Lakers, I was like, go ahead and do it. But the Pelicans are pissed off at the Lakers for that Anthony Davis trade.
I just like that the Thunder gave. I mean, the Thunder got a player that was towards the top of the Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. I mean, they got him for a chocolate shake from Brahms. That's what I liked about it. I mean,
Well, when you
I didn't
have
feel
so
like
many picks, that's the thing.
yes,
You have so many picks, but it's three future second round picks and then the 2026 first round pick, of which the Thunder have two first round picks in 2026,
no,
regardless.
like
So,
I
I
didn't
don't
think they were
really
going to do
care
anything.
what the Thunder do. As far as role players are concerned, I want them to keep Wiggs at all costs. I think he's one of the most important bench players in the league. Um, and obviously, I mean Queso, but I consider him a starter now. But I know they're going to have to start doing something because the Clippers basically given up on this season. That pick's starting to look pretty damn nice, like a top pick. And the Thunder aren't getting out of that. They're going to take because I mean the top of this draft is going to be elite, and the Thunder need bigs, and that's who's coming out. So
well,
Yep.
you got two people that are hurt on the team as well. One's battling cancer, and the other one tore his ACL before they
yeah,
drafted him. So, what does
and
that look like?
I think the development of AJ Mitchell, I think Topic is he's probably not going to see the floor much for. I think he's gone. That's my opinion. If I were the Thunder, he would be one that because he's one of those. It's like, hey man, this dude pre-draft, he just hadn't been able to get on the floor yet. You could probably trade him for some future picks. Somebody will take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
But that would, I mean, I don't think anybody expected AJ Mitchell to be what he is year two. So I think that's kind of writing itself out on Topic. Real quick, I also liked low key. I liked what Chicago did, man. I mean, I still like Anthony Simons, and I really like Rob Dillingham's potential. And I think bringing those guys in, and I don't like that they
Their
got rid
ass.
of Vucevic, but I like what they can build with those with some of the guys they have between Giddy, Dillingham, and like I said, Anthony Simons. They got a bunch of picks.
I will say
So
I don't think Dillingham touches the floor that much.
There's going to be honestly, if we're being real before moving on to the next, I think a lot of teams just did stuff to try to grab picks. I think it's a copycat league, and people are trying to do what the Thunder did and stack on picks. That's what I took from
Yeah.
this whole trade deadline. Is that
Yeah.
I hope Usman Jang does well wherever he goes because
no,
I kind of wish he got a more of an opportunity in Oklahoma City
no.
because I
All
felt
right,
like when he did get opportunities, he played well.
all right, fellas.
Yeah, moving on.
Next topic. Cam, you start. Roman chooses Punk. Talk about it.
I mean, to me, it was obvious. I think it's long term storytelling. I did think that the promo on Monday night was fucking fire. Like I thought it was authentic, genuine, and it's crazy to see how far Roman has come on the mic. It wasn't that long ago where John Cena was frying the shit out of him and he couldn't hold his own. And now he's standing toe to toe with Punk on the mic is pretty impressive. Um, I do think it says something though, like about the state of SmackDown that the the champ on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, like nobody, like I really could give a shit about Drew McIntyre. Like when I tune into, if I tune into SmackDown, it's not for Drew, it's not for the world title picture. Like to me, it's for the youth on that show. I think is more fun to watch. Um, I'm kind of I don't know, kind of stale on Cody Rhodes. I really don't care for Drew McIntyre. But I think Roman Punk at Mania is going to be pretty damn fire. That's what I got for you. I think it's going to be a fucking slobber knocker.
Is
Isaiah.
it my turn? Is it my turn? I'm just kidding. So, Cameron, I don't like the disrespect on Cody Raheem Rhodes like that.
Hey man, hey, his
Um,
promo was pretty fire too. I will say that. The Raheem comment was great.
yeah. I definitely believe that this is the only thing that will grab the attention of the viewers right now. Especially, you can kind of play into, the whole Shield aspect back in the day. That's kind of what gave Roman his start. Um, Being the security for CM Punk at one point, and you can see what he built from it, and you can kind of use that aspect to still grab the attention of the WWE faithful. I don't think everything is stale right now, but that's the best ticketed thing that you can probably lean into the most because there is a decent amount of history behind it. Um, then I think everything else playing into Mania. I mean, there's a lot of storylines that you can go with in other people's directions that hopefully don't fall stale. But that one is going to be the ticketed event going into it. I'm done. Sorry.
All right. Well, easy money. Roman choosing Punk was the best thing. It's the biggest match. It kind of had to happen. I think they were probably going to go in a different direction, and then Seth got hurt. Huh, silly Seth, always getting hurt. But Roman Punk, I think they both deliver on the mic when they need to, which is dope. I think they're both two. They're probably two of the four biggest stars in wrestling right now. Um, it should be a good match. Good long term storytelling, like Cam said, and it's something that people wanted after that triple threat last year with Seth, Punk, and Roman. The storytelling and everything that was so pretty much what I feel like is going. It's a good way first off to get the belt off of CM Punk. Let him take some time off. Get Roman back to being the coolest character in the world, so that when he does drop the belt, it just makes a bigger star. And hopefully that star is not Cody Rhodes. Everything else in Mania, I mean, I like it. I think everything will fall into place. I think we're going to get Seth versus Braun Breaker. I think we'll probably get like Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar or someone along the lines like that. I think it's going to be a showcase of the youth. I think the older fan has to look at it through the eyes of a kid and not look at it through the eyes of a man. Meaning, instead of thinking that Stone Cold, The Rock, Cena, Randy Orton are the best of all time, understand that is your bias. The what the kids are looking at right now, Roman is that guy, Cody is that guy. Wrestling is dope. If you look at it through a kid's eyes right now, it is probably one of the coolest times to be a wrestling fan. It's just when you're a grown man, it's not as appeasing as it was whenever you were a kid. But shout out to the kids. But yeah, I'm opening the floor. Is there anything going to
What
WrestleMania that y'all
what's
think?
com- what's coming up? Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it'll probably be, maybe backlash. Backlash.
Yeah,
Backlash. And,
Backlash is always after
and,
Mania.
Is it? Oh
and
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I just
Yeah.
wanted to say
Hey,
backlash.
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
backlash.
it's my
Yeah.
turn.
Back,
My
backlash.
turn. All right, hot take. I think Seth Rollins returns. I think he surprise returns on Braun Breaker, who probably promos to win the Chamber. I think Seth buries Braun Breaker in the Chamber, and I think he joins in another triple threat, Roman and Punk, to get his belt back that he never lost. That's my hot take.
If he
I
does,
think we get triple threat 2 this year.
we could. God, I'm
Because
trying to
obviously when he comes back, he's got to do something with Braun. What better
immediately.
way than to be a surprise entrant in the chamber and ruin Braun's second opportunity at a guaranteed title shot to get back his belt that he never lost in another triple threat
Yeah, but
against two people he hates
I
at
agree.
Mania.
I just think that leads to a WrestleMania match with Seth and Braun. Because then it's if you go Seth in the triple threat, then what do you do at Mania with Braun? That would be my
Mhm.
only. That would be my only like. It's kind of hard. You could have Seth get
Braun
involved. You
versus
could you could have Seth
Paul
come out.
Heyman.
Well, you right. You could have Seth come out and get involved in that because I do think the Punk and Roman match should be the night two main event.
So listen, what if I'm throwing a a spear in the water here. What if all of that happens at Elimination Chamber and Braun gets even more pissed off at Adam Pearce and there's a Adam Pearce Braun Breaker match at
Dude,
Mania?
I
Because
don't
that
know
seems like something that's in the cards at some point.
what are they. You know, Adam Pearce used to be a wrestler, right? He wrestled.
Yes, and he was
I
good.
what the do it. Triple H.
Yes, what are they waiting on?
I grew up watching Jim Ross in the ring. I watched
Yes.
Jerry the King Lawler in the ring. Put Adam Pearce in the ring with Braun Breaker. Let Braun Breaker spear him.
Destroy him.
You remember?
Like,
Was it the old Blitz game? where you would get hit so hard the animation would show your bones breaking.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I want to see from the spear.
Well, Adam Pierce had to medically retire from wrestling. That's the only reason why he doesn't do it
So
anymore.
did
So did Daniel
fucking
Bryan.
everybody else.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to
They
say.
can come back. Damn. I
Yeah.
was speaking
For
of.
one, for
Hey,
one, I don't know.
shout out to
I don't
Big
know if
E,
it's
man,
worth it.
because he
Oh
officially
yeah,
he
yeah,
officially announced his retirement.
yeah. Shouts
That
out
kind of
to
sucks
Good.
because I know a lot of people were hoping he would at some point make a comeback.
I was
So
one of those.
myself included. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Big E is he's dope. I'm it makes WWE better though. It sucks to say that, but it makes it better when you have guys like Big E. You remember Jason Jordan? I think was his name.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt
he's
Angle's
in
son, baby.
yeah yeah he's a producer. So like having
Yeah.
producers and like it sucks for Big E, but like I'm glad he still has a career and he's still involved with it.
Hmm.
Y'all know like Corey Graves was a wrestler. He just used to get concussed like what's his
Yeah.
name from the
Yeah.
Colts, the receiver. Austin
Oh,
Collie. Austin
yeah,
Collie.
Austin
Collie.
Call, fucking Peyton Manning. God damn it,
Andrew
dude.
Luck got some
God.
too. They was throwing that boy so many
Andrew Luck
hospital
got
balls
some. What about was it Chris Hogan from the was it Chris Hogan or
from the
something Hogan
Patriots.
from the
I don't
Patriots?
nah,
He
shh,
was
don't bring
getting
him up.
fucked
Nope,
up
nope,
too.
nope, nope. I
Oh,
don't bring him up. Remember
okay.
2015 AFC Championship game. I don't want to hear that name again.
Oh, sorry
Ever.
about that. My bad. I didn't mean to
But
trigger you
anyways,
like that. It's
back
the same
back to
thing.
wrestling. Back to wrestling. Cam, do you think that instead of that, would you be more interested in maybe Finn Balor getting involved in one of the championship matches? And maybe you don't do it Roman and Punk because that kind of separates itself. And the only person that should get involved would be Seth or a return in Ambrose. And I don't think that's happening. I don't think, anyways. But maybe Finn gets involved with like Drew McIntyre and they give Finn this singles push because I mean, a lot of people have been wanting it.
I, dude, I would love Finn in the world title picture again. But I want Finn like I like his Judgment Day attire like more than his when he came into wrestling or into WWE. But I want his old theme back, and you got to find a way to break him away from Judgment Day, and that's going to require a little bit of a feud. So a lot of people have been pointing the finger at him and Dom, and I think that's going to involve the IC belt. But I don't know how you successfully break him away by letting him lose to Dom.
Maybe he beats Braun or maybe he beats Dom. Maybe he beats
Beats Dom.
Dom, and then Dom goes into the main
Yeah,
title.
that was which
That
sucks
yeah, it does because I think Finn
because
could go. Finn is popular enough that he could have one more big time run.
yes, yes, but I mean, honestly, it's crazy because either way you go with the characters from the Judgment Day, they're all fucking fire right now, all of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
they're all gonna
that's what's
catch fire.
crazy to me. And another thing is like I'm more excited for the Divas division shit that goes on. Like I feel like there's so much more going on there, and there's like the storytelling and like not even in the world title picture with the Divas, but like the tag team division has got some shit going
It's
on that's pretty exciting.
nostalgia killed the men's division.
Yes.
People do not when people started asking for Randy Orton and AJ Styles and John Cena to dominate the world title scene, it stalled the growth of everyone. So now the WWE has to restart over its men's search, and you have to start, which I like, with Obafemi, Braun Breaker, Dom Mysterio, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Like those are the guys
Yeah, I
that are going
like
to lead them into the
Trick
future. LA
Williams.
Knight, yeah.
There's
Um,
lemon pepper steppers.
they just waited too long because
I
they leaned too
what
far into that.
what the hell happened to back in the day? They used to man, they used to drop the belt all the time. They just used to exchange the belt. Monday Night Raw, random fucking Raw. They would exchange the belts. Like they never do that. When was the last time you watched a world title get exchanged on Monday Night Raw?
It has
Like
it's I could Google it right now. Go ahead
I
and
can't
finish.
tell you. It's like some of that needs to happen. That's a way to elevate people without like making one dominant superstar. That's a way you can elevate, five or six people at the same time and just circulate and keep them
Well,
all hot.
I think
Real quick. Hold on, Isaiah, before I let you go. It's back to your original point, and then I'll let you close this out, Isaiah, for this topic. But Cam, I think the last main title to change hands on a Raw was when Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley, and that's why the
which is
women's division
women's.
feels yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
exactly.
But go ahead, Isaiah.
I think the biggest issue that having them drop it on like a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or something like that is they're so hinged now on making sure that people will buy the product for subscription reasons, which I think that's where you end up seeing who wins anyway through clips, and so I guess to add shock value, but they want their ticketed events like that to sell so much. They want the old pay per view structure, the named events to sell. So they just kind of got rid of that format in the men's division to where the sell has to come by you watching this event on that time. Because I feel like Monday Night Raw is. I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time. Maybe you guys can kind of shed a little more context on it, but I feel like now it's promo, couple undercards, promo, another another build up to some beef, closeout match or something of that accord. Like there's not that opportunity to do it because they use the weeklies to build on to the named events like that. And
Here,
whenever you do that, that's where you run a risk of it.
I agree, but they've always done that. Like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Hogan, those dudes were not wrestling every week. But
No,
what
I know.
yeah, I think the difference is like you said, that's what's happening. They're writing paper, they're writing TV to get to the PLEs. In the old days, they
Hmm.
were writing TV for TV. Like they want you
Hmm.
to tune in to Raw and SmackDown. Now everything is
Hmm.
just designed for the PLE, as to where before
Hmm.
everything was designed for everything. So everything was must
Hmm.
watch. Why do you watch Monday Night Raw? It wasn't because Roman Reigns kicks us off with the promo. It was because Stone Cold's going to drive a beer truck down to the ring and spray the
Yeah,
corporation. And that's why. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen as often. And I don't think it's because of the main guys. I just think it's there's so much shit to write now that it's like you got to think they're writing for NXT, they're writing for Raw, SmackDown, both women's, men's division. They're writing for the overseas product. They're writing for the AAA product. Like they're writing in tandem with TNA. It's so much harder to write TV now because of it. Because you're writing for, well, I have to write TV so that when I bring up this superstar in a year, it makes sense. And then back then it
Well,
was like, I
and
don't give a damn.
and I think too it's protecting some of the talent as well. I think it's not, the days of yesteryear where to stay relevant you had to wrestle a lot. I think now with, you know, the internet being somewhat beneficial, you can kind of be like, all right, we're gonna build this guy up. We're gonna have him have, 3 or 4 matches, prime matches in a 6 month period, and he could stay in his relevance versus like the buildup of stars back then was like week in and week out. You know what I mean? It was constant wrestling, and now with somebody else could build you up. You don't even need to do shit anymore. So the writing kind of it plays into effect, but not the same way that it used to. You don't need to. You don't have to do that anymore. It's not a requirement.
I still respectfully disagree because if you even in your head think about, let's just go back to the Attitude Era, the biggest moments that you can remember, the biggest pops, say Stone Cold's, it wasn't a Stone Cold match. Like all the biggest shit was Stone Cold coming out to the ring and stunning Triple H so
just
Mankind
whipping
could
ass.
win, or him
Yeah,
coming. Like it wasn't wrestling. It wasn't like Stone Cold was wrestling week in and week out because he didn't. Stone Cold very rarely wrestled on Raw or SmackDown. Same thing with The Rock. And even Triple H, they had their cronies. Like they had DX or Evolution. And when Stone Cold was heel, he had everybody wrestling for him. It's just everybody wants that now. The crowd that wants wrestlers to be over instead of the stars to be over is louder now. The problem with that is the wrestlers, the good wrestlers, like if Seth Rollins, who's probably the best wrestler in the company, if he was always the champ, nobody would give a damn because he doesn't have
yeah,
that star power. If like with Roman, even if you don't think he can wrestle, the star power is it's what makes it. He's never Roman's not he's not there to have the best technical 25 to 30-minute match where you start with the hand and come down and have a Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero match. He's there for storytelling. He's there to get you
Yeah.
invested in his character and then drive a story. That's the difference. But
Well,
go ahead, Cameron.
it's like some of the most must see WWE lately was when when the seeds started being planted for Jey Uso to turn on Roman. And Roman was such an asshole to him. And then when he turned, people had to tune in to see what was going to come of, that rivalry. And then that in turn made Jey Uso a super fan favorite, which then pushed him to a world title. All for the entire Roman Empire falling apart. You write Roman Reigns off after everybody turns on him, then you bring him back, and the entire crowd is back behind him. And it's like you bring him back for revenge. It's kind of like I feel the same way about Seth Rollins. You built Seth Rollins up into this villain, and then you had Braun Breaker spear the shit out of him. And the whole crowd was fired up for that. They were so excited for Braun Breaker to take over. But then when Seth Rollins comes back, the pop, the oh shit, he's back, that's going to be just as like but all that shit happened on the flagship shows, like the beginnings of that. And I don't know. Sometimes I miss the times where like a Stone Cold would get jumped by a bunch of people, or somebody would turn on him on a Monday night world title match, and he would have to drop the
Well,
belt and disappear for a month and come back and raise 10 kinds of hell on the McMahon family.
yeah, and just to finish it up, like to stack on top of that, I just miss whenever the start of Raw was meant for the end of Raw, and not the start of Raw was meant for the pay per view. Because the start,
Yeah,
like you said, Stone Cold would get jumped 8 minutes into Raw, and he'd be bleeding all kinds of shit, and or
bro.
he would go to jail, and then you would
Yeah,
watch
come
Raw,
back.
and because you would see they would leave eggs along so you could find or like Easter eggs where it was like, oh God, the camera's back at the jail. Let's see what Stone Cold's doing. And then the guard is sitting there on his ass, knocked out. And you're like, oh God, where's Stone Cold? And the rest of Raw was like, where's Stone Cold? And then you start closer to the end, you see a truck or a cop car is parked outside of the arena, and you're like, oh God, he's here. And then JR is like, oh my God, King, he's here, the Texas Rider. And then you're just like, when is it going to hit? So everybody's waiting for it. And then you have like Triple H or The Rock, something's happening. And then you just hear the
Yeah,
glass break. And then it's, that's what I missed, but my fault. We went long wrestling. Isaiah,
yeah.
you up to start, dog? Olympics.
So I understand that this is the Summer Olympics and there's not that many events than the summer, and I get that. But I mean, when the Olympics are on, I tune in. And my wife made a good point. She was like, "Do people just make up a bunch of shit and then have all the other countries compete in it?" I was like, "One of those to me is definitely curling, but I fucking love curling. I love seeing
Yeah.
a team of just dad bods out there on the ice sweeping the shit out of it to get those pucks to land. I don't even understand the scoring structure, but I fucking love it. That, the speed skiing, throw me in for some snowboarding, maybe some fucking Jamaican bobsled, baby. I'm there for it, okay? And but that don't start for another couple days, so I gotta wait patiently and watch ski athlons, which is fine, okay? But I gotta ask y'all because I know the Winter Olympics aren't as hot as the Summer Olympics, but what is some of y'all's favorite events in the Winter Olympics?
I think I'll start. I'm just going to give you my favorites and then be done. I'm not going to divulge into them, but I like. I'm going to give you my four. I like ice hockey. Obviously, Marlon knows this. Fucking hockey's probably number three on my favorite sports to sit and watch ahead of baseball. Um, Snowboarding, obviously. Um, Speed skating is fucking awesome to watch.
That shit
And
is wire to wire.
bro, it's so fucking it's intense, man. It's fun. And then I like curling, but man, give me figure skating. I There's something about figure skating to me. Like
Okay, my
It's
bad.
majestic to me. Like I don't know why.
You
It's
you
cool to
go,
watch.
girl.
It's
Okay.
dancing on ice, bro, with skates.
Okay. You like the
It's
the little pirouettes and shit. Okay, I
yeah,
feel
dude,
you.
it's awesome, man. I fucking love it, man.
And
My
those
favorite.
judges are fucking man. I hate seeing you see somebody just waiting in the, and then Germany gives them like a 9.1. Everybody else gave them a 9.5, and you're like, oh, you sons of bitches. Blades of Glory, I think, put people on to figure skating.
Yeah.
You actually
It's
kind of want to watch it.
it's a cool sport, man. I don't know. I don't know why.
So
That's my top
we
four.
just talking Winter Olympics?
Winter. Yeah, winter.
Oh fuck,
Yeah.
snowboarding, dog.
If
Hey,
yeah,
Snowboarding all
we
day,
we
every
can't get
day.
into.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to get into any type of summer talk, we didn't have the pod at the time, but specifically because Winter Olympics is on, luge is one of those most anxiety-ridden things that I've ever seen. Because you got the motherfuckers in the chutes, and then when you see them fucking
Now the Olympics,
them corners, bro, them corners, they be hitting the motherfucking corners too fast, baby.
the
That shit
Olympics as
scares
a
me.
whole, I like the summer way more than I like the winter. I watch the
Hmm.
winter as well, like just occasionally, but no, snowboarding, skiing, anything like that is my go-to. Hockey too, like hockey is. I'm like you,
Yeah.
Cam. Hockey's probably my third favorite sport to watch. I've been watching hockey, especially because the Steelers do some dumb shit. I've been watching hockey like crazy, just to kind of take the edge off. Like I'll come home and just turn the TV on, turn on some YouTube TV, and see hockey on. And I'm like, click.
Yeah.
But summer wise, you know what I'm watching in the summer. I'm watching everything: boxing,
Bro,
volleyball,
Bro,
swimming, sprints,
give
high jump.
me fucking breakdancing for the win.
Dog, this is this
the
this is
first year of them having it,
that's
I didn't even know
crazy.
how they scored it.
I somebody's a gold medalist, but I'm. Do y'all think that we will live long enough to see MMA in the Olympics?
Yes.
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, it's purely fighting, but it's man, that's hard because you already have wrestling, you already have karate, you already have kickboxing to a degree in the Olympics.
I,
You're the
I don't know
Olympics,
if they
dog. Just
blended it.
add a fucking
I
like
don't
just
know if they
mix it.
blend it all. I will say if they could add fucking breakdancing, they could
You
add
add MMA,
yeah.
MMA.
and
I
MMA
think if
would
they
bring
added, I
viewers.
think what stops them from adding MMA is it would immediately kill the other sports. It would kill kickboxing, wrestling, because everybody's just gonna go do MMA.
You're
Boxing,
right. You're
yeah,
right.
boxing too. I like it being a little more traditional in that sense, is that you have them kind of separated to kind of highlight them on their own, so to speak. Because if you start getting into MMA, then there's so many different professional leagues already. So why not really highlight
Well,
the people that might not go into that, so
that's
to
what I
speak?
was gonna say though. Is I figured it would be used the same way that boxing is, because like pro
Hmm.
boxers aren't fighting in the Olympics. It's all 18 to 24-year-olds that are
Yeah.
amateurs. So
Yeah.
I figured MMA would
Hmm.
be guys that are amateur fighters that want to bust onto the scene and show like I mean that's a way to get on everybody's radar, right? Like you're a gold
Yeah.
medalist
Yeah.
from the Olympics, and now you can sign wherever you want. You want to go to One FC, you can go to One FC. If you want to go to Bellator, I don't know why you would make that decision, but yeah, or you could go to
PFL,
UFC, yeah,
bare knuckle,
PFL, or
fuck it.
yeah, or you could just go
But
fight
I
Conor
think I
McGregor
will
in the side
say
streets.
I will say a lot of those guys end up on the contender series, right? I mean, in the
Yeah,
Ultimate
yeah,
Fighter.
yeah, but well, the Ultimate Fighter is like so hidden now. It happens, and you
Yeah.
just don't even know it happens. But the Contender Series, yes, but you get. I mean, there's still so many guys that probably
Hmm.
are very good fighters, and they just don't make it because they
Hmm.
don't have the exposure. So I think the Olympics is a way that you could bring in MMA and get some of
Yeah.
these 18 to 25-year-olds from places that we wouldn't even think they can fight, and just have
Trinidad and
Conor.
Tobago, baby.
Yeah, bro, you have
Fucking have
have
them run
Connor.
up,
Man,
baby.
you have Conor McGregor on the side. Stand your fucking ground.
Dude, he would get
Is
kicked out
it
of the Olympics so fucking quick if he
is
was a
it the next
coach.
is it the next Summer Olympics that they're adding flag football?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be
So in
watching that.
2028, they'll add flag football, and But the 2028, a lot of the events are in LA, but there's a couple of events that are in different places. Like Oklahoma City has the rowing events and
Yeah.
softball. I think flag football is all of it's going to be played in SoFi Stadium in LA, but the track events I think are going to be in the Coliseum. I think
Imagine they go play at San Francisco Stadium and everybody tears their Achilles.
I can see that happening. It's very possible. I'm worried about the state of the game tonight. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it next week. But yeah,
I mean, we can
I'm
we
if
we're just an hour in right now. I mean, if y'all
okay,
want to briefly
I will
talk
button
about
up.
what you think, but I would
Yeah,
say just so that we don't sound like morons, try not to give any predictions about it, but
zero.
just talk about kind of what the lead up to the game would probably be the best way to do it.
I'll button up the Olympic talk by saying my favorite events in the Olympics are always going to be fucking ping pong. Okay, and give me the target shooting. That shit is intense.
I like it all.
If you
It's hard to pick because even the weightlifting, like whenever you hear him and they're like, all right, complete silence. Troy Jefferson steps up and he has one more attempt to break the world record. Here he goes. And then he gets under there and he's like, I love it.
Ladies, it's always a British guy or a fucking Australia guy. Ladies and gentlemen, he's done it. Troy Jefferson
He gets it
has
up. He
now
gets it over his head. He break like
that
that. Those moments are just like, let's go.
I
going
don't
around
know.
the corner here. I think
The
that's my
target
favorite.
shooting Isaiah's talking about probably produced one of the scariest individual people in the history of the world
I'm
last
talking about
year.
any form, the archery
Oh my
or yeah, the
god.
pistol.
The
I'm 100%.
pistol.
Uh,
That dude starting taken for sure.
I they need to. I don't know if they're like, why is Joey Chestnut not in the Olympics?
Do you want to make competition eating an Olympic event? Fuck
Fuck
it, I'm
yeah,
down. Let's go to the
dude.
board. We need to propose that because
That would be
we would
fucking dope.
Yeah,
dominate.
I mean, why not? On the 4th of July, we watch Joey Chestnut celebrate the great country of America by eating a lot of hot dogs. Why not do it on the world stage and let anybody who wants some of the GOAT Joey
Come get
Chestnut
some.
to
Yeah,
That's
come
right.
get
because
some?
he dethroned Kobayashi, so nobody's fucking taking his throne, baby.
Facts.
Okay, it
Facts.
don't matter. He did burgers one time. Pause. He hot wings.
Pies.
He won
Yeah. That's
pies.
crazy
Fucking.
work too. Yeah.
I
The
think he
amount of
did corn on the cob. Pause.
I
Like
was I, we were at work one day and we were just looking up like Chestnut records and he owns so many eating records and I'm like and it's when you start looking at the number and the sheer amount that he's eaten and then you start just do it like, oh God. Yeah. When you
Yeah,
see
bro.
how many
Fuck
disgusting.
wins,
that.
It's
hey,
so gluttonous,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
He they had like a 30, not a 30 for 30, but like an E60 on him on how he trained. It is insane.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I run about 2 miles a day. I drink about 2 gallons of water just to get my stomach to expand, and then I do my eat training. I've never heard a grown adult be like my eat training, but you see how dominant this man is, and I'm fucking with it. He's got like a trainer. You're like, what?
He's
Hey,
elite. We're trying to get him into the Olympics. What are you talking about? He's
I don't
elite.
know.
Elite. But
It's gonna be
I mean,
sad when he walks away from the game. That's
facts. Well, we're what 64 minutes in, I think, something like that. So we
okay.
have a little bit
Okay.
of time to rabbit hole, fellas. What do you want to
Okay.
talk about in my Cody Rose voice?
Well, as Raheem said, he's a
Uh,
married man, and one of the biggest problems being in a marriage or just trying to
oh,
keep up with your household
here's a
is your
question.
chores.
This is just a random thought that popped in my head. Is like, do you think that Cody Rhodes' lisp is a work? Do you think
No.
that's him? Do you think that's him showing admiration to his father? Because if you listen to his podcast, very rarely do you hear that.
Seldom.
Because
I think in the beginning it
the American
was.
dream does the roads, baby. Oh, you think you're gonna get over? I'm the funky like a monkey, average American. The American dream does the roads, baby. That's so I don't know if it's a work or if it's real. And I just thought of it and I was like,
his
What if because
his
Cody Rhodes would
podcast.
well Cody Rhodes would he's such a old school pro wrestler feel that that's something he would do. He would take that shit to the grave. But I'm curious, like for those that knew Cody Rhodes when he was in high school, and this is not me trying to make fun of him. I'm just curious, like, is that a work or no? Is that if it is, like, shout out to Cody Rhodes because you are one of the best promos. I don't care what you sound like. You're one of the best promos
Maybe
in the company.
maybe low key he started it as a small work and then it just took over because it is still subtle whenever he does his podcast. I've seen some clips of it
Yeah.
and you're like you could he kind of like puckers his lips out a little bit whenever he's like trying to say a word every now and again. So maybe it's just maybe it was always there and he just accentuated it whenever he came in the business, but it's always
Well,
been kind of there.
and it's crazy
It's
because
like
like,
listening to
well, it's like Kofi
somebody that we all
Kingston.
know.
Well, it's like Kofi Kingston
Mm.
though. Like, remember he came, he was the Jamaican and shit. Obviously, it was obvious that he wasn't Jamaican. Well, he may
That
have some.
shit pissed me
It was
off.
Yeah,
just his
fucking Triple H.
accent.
That's
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
funniest things ever.
Yeah, but like that's obvious. So that's more or less of what I'm meaning is like you think when he started pro wrestling, that he was like, what can I do to like what can I do to pay homage to my father in my character? Because obviously the American Nightmare is now, but he didn't start as the American Nightmare. Like Cody was a bunch of different things before the American Nightmare.
Team
All
Rhodes Scholars.
all
Yeah.
bangers, low key. And that it's hard when people talk about how Cody Rhodes wasn't it. I'm like, dog, if you go back and look at he left because of Stardust. I'd have left too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, give him they should have gave Stardust that the Gold Dust stuttering gimmick. That's what they should have done. I mean, at least let him have some fun if you're gonna make him do
This
that.
this man had one of the dirtiest stashes ever at one
Bro.
point in his
Yeah.
career. That
Yeah.
shit was filthy.
He was. I don't know how people we don't. We all knew Cody was real good, but I didn't think that he was going to be this good. But looking back on his career, he was a banger, dog. Remember when he used to wear the mask when he was broken Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes or whatever, and he would wear the
Yeah.
mask, and then he'd be like, "I'm," because he used to be. Oh my god, I forgot all of it. I'm sorry. Like
I feel like a lot of times too, it felt like there was more of a push around to DiBiase.
yeah,
Uh, like I don't, because like I remember when they were Randy Orton's faction. Like I remember like thinking, oh, they're gonna push DiBiase. Woods is okay. But the older I've gotten, like Marlon said, the more I go back and watch, I'm like, man, actually Cody Rhodes had a pretty impressive range of arcs that he
we,
dealt with, and they were he played them all really well. Like his
this is
character was always played very well.
if like let me know if you remember this, Cam. Remember we should have known. Remember the feud of like Cody and Goldust versus the Shield, and then they got
Yes.
Dusty involved, and how dope that whole like the all of it was just dope, right?
Yeah.
Thinking back on it, you have Goldust who is good as a good hand in the ring, but Goldust at that point was an afterthought. He's a far stretch away from him driving in the OJ Bronco against
Yeah.
Roddy Piper at WrestleMania. That was a long time ago, right? He was just an afterthought. He was nostalgic. That was all he was. And then you have Dusty Rhodes, who he's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, but he's an older guy and he was mostly behind the scenes. Cody carried that. Cody carried
Yeah.
the promos. Cody was like, we should have known then. So shout out to
Yeah.
the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, whatever you want to call him.
Shout out. It's crazy because he was just a mid Carter, like with no respect from the company until he went out and built a fucking rival company from the ground up and threatened WWE. And then Khan was like, by the way, fuck you, Cody.
That's yeah, right.
Like
That's
that's
the
what
way.
it took.
That's the way to
It's
do it, though,
crazy to me.
because that's what Drew had to do.
Yeah,
He
because
just
he went to
didn't
what,
build
TNA?
it. Yeah, he went to TNA. Bobby Lashley did
Dominated.
it. A lot of guys did it back in the day. Christian had to do it. I wish Perk Angle would have came back a lot earlier than he did, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy because I feel like outside of like Bobby Lashley obviously succeeded at the top, at the highest level in WWE when he came back. Drew McIntyre's and Cody Rhodes's, but outside of them, a lot of those people that left and became a star, other promotions or on the indie scene and came back, don't really like. They tried it with Christian. The title run was a flop. You
X.
know, like
Yeah.
I they brought back Zack Ryder, and so far it's been not great. You know, it's not been
Hey,
bad. He
hey,
hasn't had a lot of time, but my bad. I called him Zack Ryder. My fault.
it's
My
fine.
fault.
He's done both. He's been Zack Ryder and he's also been Matt Cardona. But low key, Cam,
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
back to your original point too, though. Someone that I know from the very recent who left and built their own and came back and became a even a bigger star is Naomi.
No,
Her and
that's
Sasha
true.
walked out. She went to TNA, turned her character around, earned the
Yeah.
respect of the company again, and then before
Ooh,
she
man,
got
I'm
pregnant, she's
fucking. I'm so
Does
fired up for
Sasha
when she comes
Banks
back
come
because she's
yeah.
back
another one that
ever?
she just dropped. She just dropped the belt. Like she never lost it, so you know she's gonna come back with some fire. I don't think Sasha's ever coming back. Sasha,
Probably
man,
not.
she's
Probably
she's
not.
like 9 belts Monet or whatever over in
Yeah.
AEW or was at one point. Dude, she's got it made. She
Yeah.
is one of the like main attractions in
Well,
AEW.
I've always speculated on what happened to make them both walk out and make one of them
They
never come back
they I think
because
they
they don't
weren't
really
given the time.
say it.
They weren't given the amount of time. They didn't feel like they were writing the storylines up to par with them. They weren't doing anything to make them bigger stars, and they knew the only thing that they could do to make a difference is to walk out. That's what Naomi said essentially is like I felt like I didn't have any because every time they would come forward and say like, look, we created these women's like tag team belts. Let's do something with them. And they would be like, nah, y'all are going to NXT. It doesn't matter. You'll wrestle with them. And they would be like, this is disrespectful. Like, we won these. You wanted these. Now we have them. And now you're just treating them as an afterthought. And you have so much time. And they just weren't doing it. So they just walked out. And then Sasha,
I
there's no
Right
know.
reason for her
at
to come back.
they built up the women's tag team matches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know some of the top talent, female wise, had big issues with Ronda and how
Yes.
easy it was for her to be put over into the main event picture over people that are like the females that built the division to what it is.
Yeah.
The Baileys and the Sashas
Becky,
and
Charlotte,
Becky's.
Sasha's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I know that soured a lot of the women in the
Which
division.
now Ronda Rousey just talks shit about everything that she's ever done and accomplished, other than her medals.
Rhonda, come fight
Anything that she
Isaiah.
did.
Come fight
No,
if he wants to.
I'm
Oh,
just being honest.
pay
If you
per
listen to her
view.
talk, I'm not trying to say it in a
White House
mean
card, let's do
way.
it.
Yeah. Dana.
Uh,
Dana.
am I wrong? I mean, sure,
No, no,
we're
you're
gonna
not
get in
wrong at
rabbit
all.
holes.
You're
You
not
know what I
wrong.
mean? I'm not trying to sound like an ass, but that's exactly what she does.
Nah, you're not.
She's
She,
kind of she's made it to where I
I
really
think
can't
she's
stand her.
bitter. I think she's
Yeah,
just a
She's very
bitter
bitter.
person.
She's very bitter. And
she gets on my damn
again,
nerves.
Joe Rogan
With her
painted the picture.
success,
Well, Joe
it
Rogan
doesn't make any
paints the
sense.
picture perfect about Rhonda. Everything that she feels is because of the success that she had. She's still viewing the world like she's on top. In her mind, she hasn't fallen off. So she thinks that everybody's being disrespectful to what she accomplished. And what everyone's saying is like, no, we understand what you accomplished. The sport moved on. If
Yeah,
you,
we respect that, but
yeah, like you can't, it's whenever people talk boxing, you don't, you talk Tyson and Ali and Frazier and like
mhm,
now Usyk and you're not talking Rocky Marciano as much because that's what started it. And it's hard for
mhm.
people to look at the people who started it as talented as what's happening now in the future. So Ronda has to
Yeah,
understand you are a pioneer, but I also don't think that Tito Ortiz is a great fighter compared
Or
to
Chuck.
today's. And they
but
Or
they laid the
Chuck would
pioneered.
get
foundation.
fucking
Yes.
Yeah,
Chuck would
Yes.
get mopped
Yes.
right now.
Facts.
Like, but yeah, they're the reason why it is where it's at now. Like without
and
them, the UFC doesn't take off.
Correct.
well, and really, without the success of Ronda in a different organization, Dana openly said, "I will never put a women's division in the UFC," and then she became undeniable, which is amazing for the sport. However, whenever the sport started to grow and you I wouldn't say she didn't adapt, but she
It
still
outgrew
was
her.
thinking, yeah,
That
you were still doing the same type of training and you got beat, which is fine, and then you went on to the WWE. And yes, to a degree, I can see why other women were kind of upset with that, but she's a big name. So you can't mid card a big name like that. But then openly talking about how shitty her experience was in the WWE, it was like, no, they kind of gave you everything and you just didn't know what to do with it. And now, I don't even know what she's doing now. I'm sure she's still successful in another regard in her life, which is great. But you can't bite the hand that fucking fed you a lot.
Mm.
That's I mean, not trying to be an ass, but that's just where I am with it. Marlon's looking up something. I don't know. We
I don't
might
know. I
have some
just like it annoys me
intensity.
because like it shows a lack of appreciation for what made you a star. And yes, your training, your preparation, like the work you put in made you a star, but that promotion, the UFC, the WWE, you could go and train and do all this bullshit, but without being put on those promotions and being signed by those promotions, you're not a star. So the
I
lack
mean,
of appreciation, it's kind of like
yeah,
like I don't work at Hobby Lobby anymore, but I'm appreciative of my time there. It wasn't always great, but it doesn't mean I don't appreciate what I learned from what I took from my
facts.
experiences there. That's what annoys me about her is like, dude, whatever negative things you got to say about the UFC, Amanda Nunez basically threw you out of the fucking UFC because
It
you had
really,
no
really,
chance.
she
You
was
got
already gone.
mocked.
She was already
yeah.
gone before
When
that.
she
Holly
lost to
Holm,
Holly,
Holly
Yeah.
walked her out, and she was like, "Hey, it's evolved. We're like that. You running in and just grabbing somebody and slamming them, and that's the it. Yeah, no, you're not gonna take me down now. Can you box?" And she couldn't, and Holly exposed her. And then
the
Amanda was like, "I'm actually I could wrestle you if you want because I'm stronger than you, but also
yeah,
Mm.
I got these." And that was
I got
it.
these motherfucking poles. I can
Yeah.
pull my fucking bear poles on.
Got these bear paws.
The funniest thing that I saw in the lead up to her getting beat up by Holly Holm, I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was like a little vignette that they did. It was like a promo of her training. And when I saw Ronda Rousey shadow box, I was like, no fucking way. I was like, no, no fucking way. I saw that and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna go good for her, just based on her shadow boxing.
It didn't. It didn't. But fellas, I got to wrap. I got to head out. What do y'all want to leave the listeners with?
I hate doing the dishes. I've hated it since I was a kid, and I hate doing it now. That's my chore that is carried over from childhood to adulthood. Adulthood.
Cam.
When I was a kid, I hated the dishes. I actually don't mind the dishes now. Like it kind of helps me check out from reality. So give me a load of dishes, keep me away from the motherfucking laundry.
I I used to like mowing. I don't like it no more. I don't like it. When I was younger, I didn't like the dishes, and now I'm very much the same. Dishes, mopping, sweeping. I throw my AirPods in, put in an album,
Yep.
and I'm cool, or a
Just check
podcast.
out.
So,
Yeah.
yep. But mowing, I do the same thing mowing. But God, it'd be so hot. So
Mowing gets me. That's my piece. Mowing.
it
I'll just
is a
start
piece,
doing
but
random shit.
it is. But it's also when you're mowing in May and it's 196 degrees outside. Once I'm
You got to
done,
do it in the
I'm
mornings or in
over
the
with.
night, baby. Come on now.
It's still 99 degrees at
It's
6:30 in the
fucking humidity,
morning.
Isaiah. Come on,
Yeah.
dude.
Talking
Oh
about
man, I love in the most non-homo. I mean, no, Paul in the most Paul's way possible. I love the sweat. I love feeling like I did something that day. I have a fucking office job, boys. Okay, I'm not exerting a lot of physical activity, but when I'm out there mowing, that's like me being like I did something.
that's why I got a garden. What do y'all want to leave the listeners with now though? We have more listeners on YouTube last week. It wasn't a ton, but we starting back up. But
Yeah, we coming back,
We're
baby. We
building.
yeah,
on a
We're
comeback.
we
on the
bu-
comeback.
we're building. We're building.
Isaiah, you go
Um.
ahead.
Uh. I mean, we're trying to make it a little more structured. We're not. It's not the Wild West anymore. shout out to us trying to do that because we've known each other too long to kind of keep ourselves on a path. So hopefully you guys enjoy it more. And yeah, man, we're about exactly a month away from history when the boys are gonna be back in the garage. So let's get hyped up for that. Okay,
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
that's what I got to leave
I'll
you
leave
with.
them. I'll leave the listeners with this. It was absolutely criminal that Trevor Lawrence didn't win the MVP. That's it.
And I'll leave the people with, if you didn't see on Gill's or the Gridiron Arena or whatever it's called, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith linked back up. Great times. They changed the game, even if you like them or hate them, regardless, they changed the game. It was great to listen how Stephen A. came in midway through the show, and you could tell that the chemistry is still there. ESPN, if you ain't got
Do
nothing
it.
else, fuck Ryan
Do it.
Clark,
Bring them
fuck
back.
Saturday, fuck them all. They can do Get Up. Bring back Steve or Skip Bayless and let them just host First Take. But that's it. Watch the Super Bowl. We'll be back to discuss it next week. Peace.
Peace.
Oh shit. Oops.